Welcome to the VAS 214 lab, basic knobology, basically how to begin to operate an ultrasound. Here's our brand new Mindray machines, wonderful to have. I want to start off by pressing the power button right here. Now, these machines will take just a couple minutes to boot up. See that we have lights coming on, and our touch screen will begin to light, and so will our monitor. As that's going on, I just want to show you a few of the basics. We have a trackball, and we have a left and right click for the trackball, just like your mouse at home. And we have three basic functions we're going to look at on this video. First is going to be, I think you can see it there, B for B mode or brightness mode. Then of course color. And then PW stands for pulsed wave Doppler. We're going to play with those three. Now that the screen's up, we can see a little something. And what we have right here is somewhat of a trapezoid. And that indicates that we have the curvilinear probe, which is this probe right here. We could also select the sector probe, which is a smaller footprint, but we're not interested in that. We want to select this probe, which is the linear probe. To do that, we come on over here and we're going to find the probe button. Press that. You'll see the touch screen comes up, and sure enough, we can select by picture, click it twice, the linear probe. Now it comes up on the screen, and we can see that it's more rectangular, and that's what we want to have. Now, we can play a little bit with depth and make it more of a rectangle. We're going to come over here to depth, and we're going to toggle that switch down. As we do, you're going to see that it's getting more and more rectangular. And we have gone clear down to a depth of 15 centimeters. Well, that's really too deep for what we'll start off with, which will be the carotid artery. So we're going to move it back to 5 centimeters depth. There we go. Then the next thing you want to begin to play with is gain. And gain is going to make either the screen brighter or darker. So I'm going to twist this to the right clockwise, and we'll see that the screen begins to get brighter. Or if I go counterclockwise, it gets darker. But we want basically this brightness to begin with. Then I want to show you a little bit with the time gain controls, these slider switches over here. If I move the ones on the bottom to the right, you're going to see the bottom of the screen get brighter. Or if I move those switches to the left, it gets darker. And you can do that at any level. Now that's something that this day and age we don't mess with too much. And for the most part, we can leave them in the center and then just play with the B mode brightness. Another thing you're going to want to play with just a little bit, and you're going to learn about, is this focal arrow that we see right there. Come down here and it says focus right there. You toggle the switch up, and sure enough, it'll go from the 3 to in between the 3 and the 2 to the 2. Now it's set so you have the best image quality at 2 centimeters depth. So that's something that you'll play with. Next, we're going to move to color. Again, find the color knob, you just press it down. As you do, you'll see this color box come up. Now you're going, whoa, well that's nice, but I don't see any color. Well, we don't have any blood motion to make color. Now you can see color by turning that knob to the right, like so, and behold, we have way too much color. So you want to back it off to where it just disappears. Now let's say you don't like where that box is. You want to look at a vessel that's a little bit deeper. You're going to use the trackball, and you're simply going to move the trackball down or to the left or to the right, and you can put that anywhere you want. Now, perhaps you don't like the shape of that box. Maybe you want it narrower or shallower. What you can do now, while you're in B mode, is just click that left clicker, and you'll see these little smaller boxes at the corner of the big box. Now, when I move the trackball around, I can change the shape of the box. Let's say I want it right about there. I'll left click again, and I've got the box size that I want. Now many times you're going to want to steer the box. The box is kind of straight up and down, but you might want to steer it one way or the other. So we come back down, we see the trackball, and we come down here, and sure enough it says steer. I'm going to toggle that to the left, and you're going to see the color box begin to steer to the left. Now you can do it that way, or you can come down to the touch screen, and you can see it also says steer, and then this knob that's right down by it will allow you to steer the box too. It has a little more finesse. So you have a lot of control over the color box. Next, we're going to turn on pulsed wave Doppler. Poke the button once and we get this cursor that comes up. Now this is at a 0 degree, and we have what will appear and what we call the blood flow cursor. And we make that appear by coming down to the touchscreen, and it says quick angle. We poke that and it goes to 60. Now you can see the blood flow cursor pop up. Now I'm going to hit that button again. It's at 0, and now it's the other way. Most of the time that's about where you're going to want it. Now, to activate the Doppler and get the waveforms that we like to have, you can either hit PW again, or you can hit Update. See where it says Update right there. So I'm going to poke that button. And now we have the Doppler. And of course it's not tracking any blood flow. We just have a basic background volume. See if I can bring it up a little bit. You can hear it. And we do control that as well. We can move the baseline, which we see here, up or down. We come on over here and we see where it says baseline, and I'm going to toggle it up. So you can see indeed it does go up, or I can toggle it down and it does go down. And then I can also play with scale. We see 50 centimeters per second there. I'm going to hold it. Well, let me come down here and come to the scale operation. It says scale right there. Come back to this, and it's set at 50. I'm going to go up to 100. There it is, 100. And you heard the frequency change a little bit. Now, if you wanted to measure a waveform, you would next hit freeze, which is right down here by the trackball. And then you would hit caliper, if you can see that, caliper. Then you're going to move that up or down, and let's say the peak, the waveform peak was right there. Well, it would be at negative 74.52, and we'll talk about negative and positive later on. But there we go, we have a very accurate measurement. One thing I also wanted to show you on color, I'm going to unfreeze it, and we see both the color and the PW. I'm going to come down, I'm just going to push the B mode. Now watch what happens when I poke it. It goes back to just B mode. Kind of a fail-safe, you can always go back to that. I'm going to turn color on again. And a couple things I would like to mention about color is this color scale that we see right here. I think you can see that it's at about 8.7. And just like we did for the Doppler, we can increase or decrease that scale by coming down to scale while we're in the color mode. And so we see scale again right there. And as I move that toggle switch up, we'll see that it goes from 8.7, 9.9, 1.3, or I can go back down. And you're going to learn about that function in physics. Also the baseline, just like we had with Doppler, you have a baseline for color. So again, the baseline toggle switch here, you come back and you toggle it down, and look at it, it goes down, and now we have basically one direction color, which is blue and the green that you see there, or I can toggle it all the way up, and we'll have the other direction, which is mostly red and yellow. So we have these functions. So here are the basic functions of the machine. When it's time to turn the machine off, you just want to hit that button again. Then you come up and with your trackball you select shutdown. And you're done. Thanks.